In the previous session, we were discussing about the growth and decay of current in an RL circuit, in a resistor inductor circuit. And today we are going to understand how the charges grow and decay in a capacitor, or how charging and discharging of a capacitor through resistor will take place in a circuit. I have shown here a circuit containing capacitor and a resistor, and you have a voltage supply and the potential is E. Now you have a key here. You know that this is a kind of a Morse key setup. That is, when you press it, actually, if you, as shown in the figure, it is actually connected to this part of the circuit, and it is an open circuit with the resistance and the capacitor. So that means here, actually, as shown in the figure, the circuit is this way closed. You have only the EMF here. Suppose if I don't press it here and if I make it loose, it will get this key actually will be now connected with the K, this path, and this will be broken. Okay, that means the key will be in connection with this particular circuit. Say that means now the current will flow through this particular circuit, which is a closed circuit. So now when current flows through a circuit containing capacitor, we know that the capacitor charge will increase or capacitor will get charged. That is what we have learned. And let Q be the charge of the capacitor at any instant, say t. At any instant, say t. Okay. So now what is the potential difference across the capacitor, or what is the voltage across the capacitor? Voltage across the capacitor is equal to, you have learned that this is equal to Q by C. You might have learned voltage Q is equal to C times V, right? So we can say that the charge in the capacitor is equal to, it is the product of the capacitor value, capacitance, and the voltage. So you can write the voltage across the capacitor V as equal to Q by C. Okay, now you know what is the voltage across the resistor. That is quite easy. You know that it is I times R, where I is the current flowing through the circuit and R is the resistor of the resistance value. Okay, now we'll apply the voltage, Kirchhoff's voltage equation here. We have learned that here the current, or here the voltage source is E, okay, and that voltage source potential of this voltage is actually divided among two components, that is the voltage across the capacitor C and the voltage across the resistance R. So I can write E as equal to, across the capacitor it is Q by C, plus across the resistor it is IR. Okay. Now what is actually current I? You have learned that current I is actually rate of change of charge, or it is actually dq by dt, right? So I can replace this I by dq by dt, because here also you have the terms of q, it is in terms of q, so I am changing this I in terms of again q, so I can replace that. So let me write E is equal to q by c plus r times dq by dt. Okay. Now, this I is the instantaneous current which we are talking about. Now, what happens? The capacitor will continue getting charged till it attains the maximum charge. So now, when the switch is put on, or when the potential is, or I can say that the circuit comes into the closed circuit mode, or when the EMF is applied for a short period, the capacitor will attain charge, and it will attain, after some time we know that the capacitor will attain its maximum charge. let Q0 be the maximum charge of the capacitor. Q0 be the maximum charge of the capacitor. So then we can say that what is the potential difference across the capacitor C? Potential difference across the capacitor E is equal to, that means at that time when the Q becomes maximized to Q0, or I can say that when Q becomes equal to Q0, I can say that at that time I is what? I is equal to dq by dt again. That is, at that time it becomes dq0 by dt, or that will not dq0 when it has maximized. I can say that the rate of change is now stopped. Current charge has grown, charge has developed, and it has become maximum. I can say that at that instant there is no variation in the charge, so I can say dq by dt is equal to 0. So which implies that this equation 1 which I have written here becomes equal to E is equal to Q is now replaced by Q0 by C, because dq by dt has turned out to be 0, right? So this is actually equal to E equal to Q0 by C. So I got a second relation. What is E? E is actually Q0 by C. E can also be written as Q by C plus R into dq by dt. Now E can also be written as Q0 by C. Okay. Now let's now write the relation again. That is E is equal to, that is the first relation, Q by C plus R into dq by dt, right? Now E can be replaced by the equation number 2. That is, equation number 2 was Q0 by C. I am replacing E as Q0 by C, Q by C plus R into dq by dt. Okay. Now obviously, seeing that, you can understand that you can collect the like terms together. So I am bringing this Q by C to the left side. So I can write Q0 minus Q, right, divided by, or divided by C is equal to R into dq by dt. I can take the C to the other side. So I can write it as C, and then Q0 minus Q as equal to CR into dq by dt, right? Now what is our normally when you deal with such relations, we can differentiate, or we can integrate it. We will integrate it, right? For integrated over a time, what happens? So that means I can collect the like terms together. I can say dq, I'll bring it here, or what better option is dq, it is with respect to differential dq. So I bring q0 minus q to the other side and dt to the other side. So I am a kind of a rearrangement is going to take place. So I will do is, what I will keep in the left hand side is, let me say dq divided by q0 minus q, and it is equal to, I bring the CR and dt to the other side. So then I can write it as 1 by CR into dt. Okay. So now what we'll do, we'll integrate as usual case. We'll integrate both sides. When I integrate both sides, I'll get minus log q0 minus q is equal to t by CR plus a constant of integration k. Now how do you find the constant of integration? Yeah, we put t is equal to 0. Then at that time t equal to 0, then I can say that q is equal to 0, right? At that time t, when time t is equal to 0, q also has not developed. So I can say q is equal to 0. Then at that time this equation become log of minus log q0, q has become 0, is equal to time t is 0, so that means k becomes log q0. So now I replace k by log q0 in the next step. So I can write this expression as minus log of q0 minus q equal to t by cr plus k is actually minus log Q0. Okay, now what can I do is I can bring this minus log Q0 to the other side, and I'm going to rearrange this expression. You can just watch and see. I bring this, or I can say that negative, I'm multiplying all the terms with negative. So that means this becomes positive, this becomes negative, and this becomes positive. Okay, so then I bring this log Q0 to the other side. So this becomes log Q0 minus Q minus of log Q0, okay, then minus T by CR. When you do it and rearrange it, you'll get it easily. Okay, so this can be written as again log Q0 minus Q divided by Q0, right? This is log A minus log B, that is log A by B. So I can write it in this form, and this is equal to e raised, sorry, this is minus T by CR. Now what is our attempt? I want to know what is the Q at every instant. At an instant T, what is the value of the Q charge? That is what we have to understand. So what we can do is we can take the exponential on both sides. So e raised to log Q0 minus Q divided by Q0, that is actually Q0 minus Q divided by Q0. This is equal to e raised to minus T divided by CR, right? Or I can write this expression also as Q0, or when after division, I can write this expression as 1 minus Q by Q0 is equal to e raised to minus T by CR, right? So that is when you rearrange it, that I want to get Q out of this relation. You bring e raised to minus T by CR to one side, take the other thing to the other side, and then after rearranging you will get Q equal to Q0 into 1 minus e raised to minus T divided by CR. Those who need further clarification must write each and every step separately, and then you finally come at this relation Q equal to Q0 into 1 minus e raised to T by CR. Now, when you compare this equation to the one you have learned in the case of a growth of current in an LR circuit, you can see that there the current growth and here the charge growth are both the same kind of a representation, right? And as discussed earlier, there we had discussed time constant in a different way. Here you can understand what is time constant. Here time constant T can be written as equal to what? Yes, think and tell me. Yeah, the time constant T here can be written as actually equal to CR. So that means why we say that T time constant is CR? That is when time T is equal to CR, you know that the relation becomes Q equal to Q0 into 1 minus e raised to minus 1, right? Okay, so that becomes equal to 0.63. Just find out 1 by e, then subtract that from 1, you will get 1.632 Q0. Okay, so here actually time constant is that value of time. When you put that in this relation, this e becomes e raised to minus 1. Okay, 1 upon e, or this term becomes 1 by e. So that is actually the significance of this time constant. Okay, so now when you calculate it, this turns out as this, or I can say in other terms that time constant is that value of or time taken by the capacitor to get charged to 0.632 times its maximum value. Okay, according to this case, I can define this time constant as a time required for the capacitor to get charged 0.632 times its maximum value. Okay, that is the time constant. Now, if you actually find the rate of growth, that is rate of growth of charge. That is very easy. You can just differentiate this relation. This relation Q equal to Q0 into 1 minus e raised to minus T by CR. If you differentiate I can write this as equal to dq by dt is equal to, differentiate this, you will get q0 as a constant, so I can write q0. Then you differentiate 1 minus e raised to minus t by cr, you will get 1 is 0, differential of 1 is 0. So then what you're going to get is minus of e raised to minus t by cr. Then you differentiate minus t by cr. Okay, so then I'll get into minus 1 by cr when you differentiate that. So that becomes equal to q0 by cr into e raised to minus t by cr. Okay, so that is dq by dt. Then what is q0 into e raised to minus t by cr? q0 into e raised to minus t by cr is actually q0 minus q. So I can substitute that here. That is q0 into e raised to minus t by cr can be substituted as q0 minus q divided by cr. Okay, so that is actually dq by dt. Thus, it is seen that smaller the value of this CR, smaller the value of CR, what happens? If the value of CR is small, that is denominator is small, so the term is going to be high. So that is, if CR is small, I can say that dq by dt is large, right? So that means that more rapidly the charge grows on the capacitor. dq by dt is high means the rate of change of charge is high. That means current will grow rapidly in the capacitor, on the capacitor. So lower the value of this time or CR, or lower the value of the capacitor, I can say that this dq by dt, or lower the value of CR, I can say that the capacitor grow, the charge on the capacitor will grow more rapidly. Okay, so I can say that more the value of the capacitor and the resistance, more time it will take to get fully charged. Now the rate of the growth of the charge is rapid in the beginning, and it becomes less and lesser as it becomes towards the later stage. So that means I can, if I plot these two, that is as per the relation q equal to q0 into 1 minus e raised to minus t by cr. If we plot this charge q against the time t, as time goes on, what we see is that the charge will rapidly grow in the beginning, and then towards to the later t, as t becomes larger and larger, we can see that the growth becomes less rapid, or the growth will be very small. And so when it is going to attain the steady value, the growth will be in a lesser way, or growth will be not rapid. But at the beginning, as the time increases, the capacitor's charge will go on increasing very rapidly, and as it more going to reach the steady value, the growth will be a little more slower. So this is how the graph will look like. This is exactly the graph which you plot. If you plot this equation in a graphical mode, this is what you get. Okay, so this is about the growth of charge happening in a circuit containing capacitor and resistor. So what we discussed in detail, the circuit and the circuit analysis, and then we finally understood how the charge grows in a capacitor. Now we have to understand how the charge get decayed in a capacitor, again through the resistance. So that you can clearly understand. If you have understood this part, you can, and if you have understood the decay of current in an LR circuit, you can easily calculate the decay of charge in a capacitor. So I am giving that as you as an assignment. You please work out the decay of charge in a capacitor, and then you can present to me when I ask for. So thank you very much.